I'm stuck at a restaurant right now because it's pouring rain outside, and I get to do my favorite thing of walking home. It's either walk home 12 minutes and get completely soaked, or hopefully wait. It looks like it's coming down.
Yeah.
I haven't got to ask you much questions yet.
Yeah, hey, I apologize. I was just not in a great position. Just got on the bus. Actually stopped raining, so it's perfect.
You ever had a seizure in public?
Just the one. Actually, yes. I see. I've most of my seizures are me full. I don't know what the name for them really is because I've had different types. But like the full-on seizures, you lose consciousness for certain couple minutes. But I've had one at school where I was just in class, and then all of a sudden I remember like my heart rate kind of like increasing. I don't know, like a kind of panic attack. But the next moment I'm throwing up in the hallway, like throw up down my shirt into a trash can. And I had no idea how I got there. And I just asked my one of my peers that I sit next to, and he just said it didn't look really weird. Like you just looked in a rush. You kind of like ran out of the room really quickly, and that's all. But yeah, that's the only one in public. And I didn't go back into class because obviously I'd thrown up all over myself, and I just stayed out in the hallway. My teacher actually came out after class looking for me because he noticed I didn't come back, and he walked me across campus to my dorm to make sure I was like okay and make sure I was comfortable. But that's the no one really saw it, and it wasn't, I don't even know what happened.
Do your meds make you drowsy?
I stopped taking them. They made me hella drowsy. Hella drowsy. I was just yawning constantly. Especially after the first month. So I basically went bankrupt after my second seizure. My first seizure, I didn't know how medical payments work. I didn't know how bills work. So I paid about $4,500 of my savings to my hospital December 31st. And I had another seizure, totaled my car, and paid about $3,500 from that, and went completely bankrupt, essentially. And so the idea of spending $150 per hospital visit just with a neurologist to tell me I don't know what's going on or suggest more medication for me, I couldn't afford it. I literally just didn't want to, didn't want to pay. And I couldn't afford the medication to begin with either. So I just kind of stopped taking it and focused on being healthier. And it's been nice, except I don't know, the panic attacks are coming back more. I got diagnosed with PTSD from a therapist, but she also thinks it could be auras. It just seems like no one has an answer for you, no matter what. Like no one has a straight answer.
No.
Yeah, I don't quite understand the aura ones. I haven't had anyone 100% explain it to me, but it sucks. I heard.
It's still hard to wrap my head around that those are actual like seizures.
Yeah, I didn't know that until literally 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Like I just thought it was like a panic attack I was having, and I thought maybe I had tinnitus or something like that or whatever, because my ears would be ringing. And no, it took me a year and almost 6 months to figure out, like, I've been having seizures pretty much every day, even if just a small one like that. And then, yeah, it makes it so hard to work, but they've been getting worse and worse, honestly. And it might be because of the medication, not taking it, where I'm having like multiple panic attacks or auras every day.
Yeah, I think to be honest, I think the meds have worse side effects than the actual seizures.
That's how I felt. Yeah.
That's what I was
feel
for
like,
Kepra.
I feel like if I just had seizures, I might have better memory. I don't know.
Yeah,
I blame the memory on the pills.
If I was guaranteed to just have the focal awareness seizures without having to take medicine for the rest of my life, sign me the fuck up. I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But the fact that since I have had ones before that have gone to other sections of the brain, there is no guarantee that that can happen. So I'm sort of stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah, there was one emergency room doctor that she thought that maybe I
We
should
lost
get a brain
Cantona there.
surgery. She said I should get a surgery because my memory was it was going bad too early. And I'm 35. She said I'm losing memory too fast to be this young. And she suggested a surgery. And she was like, she's gonna take off a little piece of your skull, and then we're gonna put a needle and suck out the little pockets and some little pockets in there or something like that. And I was just like, nah, I'm a pass.
I mean, one of the things I've been looking at too, because it seems like from what I'm reading, like temporal lobe epilepsy is one of the more highly drug resistant ones in terms of epilepsy.
Yeah.
So I mean, the other options they talk about is, I think Kevin had one, was a VNS, right? That's a surgery, but also, like, if they can pinpoint where the lesion is that the seizure is starting, they're doing like an ablation procedure nowadays too, where they just basically go in with a needle and they sort of kill off that section of where the seizure is starting. It seems like more and more hospitals and more are becoming more competent at doing that. I believe maybe the Cleveland Clinic, maybe the Mayo Clinic, were other some places that were really like the gold standard for this. But now I've saw, like, in New York, like Weill Cornell and NYU was starting to do it.
I go to Cleveland Clinic. They're dope as hell.
I was even thinking about just trying to go myself, even from New York, just to see what would go on. But it seems like I'm not at that point yet, because I've only tried one medicine so far. Apparently, they want you to try like multiple medicines before they make a decision or they make that you're actually drug resistant. So, you know,
Does anyone get like the metallic taste in your mouth sometimes?
no, my taste buds are pretty good.
I get the same smell, and like I know the aura's coming, or I know I'm getting aura when it's like the same taste and feeling and smell in my mouth and like nose area every single time. And I have to I try to like take deep breaths or fight it off almost, because it's weird, but it's not really metallic-y. It's just the same deja vu taste, flavor, and feel.
Yeah, every time I get like the metallic taste in my mouth, it's like a lot of things that I get that I'm just like, this might be a precursor. So let me sit down, and then sometimes things happen and most times they don't. But a lot of times I'm coming to find out that some of these things are actually seizures, and that was the seizure instead of the precursor, which is very interesting. Yeah, it's interesting learning more, because getting to know people and learning what other people are going through has been very helpful.
This is actually the first time I've ever heard or talked with people who also have epilepsy. In a year and a half, I've never gotten the opportunity to even hear from people.
Me too.
And yeah, my mom's best friend from high school, apparently she has seizures. So we set up a time to talk tomorrow, and we'll go into stuff. But no, this is awesome. Thank you for letting me join. I apologize
Yeah,
for
dude.
probably making some noise and stuff, but thank you.
No, it's all good. I actually, I'm gonna have to split. When's the next time we're gonna hop on? Friday?
Yeah, it's just great talking to people.
And just
Just
you
because
guys
everyone
will see me
understands. It's not explaining.
I'll be all hooked up Friday for my EEG, so I'll get on so you guys can see it.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. I'll see you. Yeah, I gotta go 11 o'clock in the morning. They'll set me up, and I gotta wear it for 48 hours, so it's pretty interesting. You guys will see me all wrapped up and stuff.
Oh,
So I'll give
nice.
you. I
got
don't
some
know if you
photo-
guys. I don't know
got
if you
some
guys have ever
photos of that
taken
too.
one. I don't know if you've ever done one outside of.
I
like
did
the
that and
hospital.
I hated it because I have hair, so it's like
Right. Yeah. It's annoying. It's
you know,
annoying.
put that
It
little
was
stuff there.
expensive.
And
I kept
Yeah.
fucking
Oh my
scratching the
God.
nodes off, and without realizing. They're like,
So
I
I'll
had to
see-
get a sitter for the whole week I was there because I kept picking at it. They're like, stop. I was like, oh, okay, sorry.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm not looking for. I mean, I've worn them as long as 72 hours. I only She only really wants me to do it for a day, just to sort of try to capture the current symptoms that I'm having. Um, so it shouldn't be too bad considering I've done it longer. So for 24 hours shouldn't be too bad. But I will see you guys on Friday with it all set up. And
All right.
I hope you guys have a good 2 days. And I really appreciate the opportunity to come in and to talk with you guys. It's been good. It's been refreshing. It's been sort of easing, right? To have these
Yeah.
discussions. So
100%.
so thanks guys, and we'll talk Friday.
No. Thank you too. Absolutely.
Tuesdays and Fridays.
You got it.
Hey, thank you for the invite, man. I really do appreciate it. I'm sorry I came in late and I know it's a little loud and stuff, but no,
It's
it's
all right,
awesome
man.
getting to hear about. I literally just found r/epilepsy last night. I was like, fuck, man, I just want to rant about everything. And then you invited me to Epilepsy Universe. I appreciate that. Appreciate that.
No problem. Yeah, being able to have people to rant to feels good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause
just
you're
people who
ranting
understand a
and
little
they're
bit.
understanding. Like
'Cause there's
some
still that
sites you can
feeling-
rant and they'll just look at it like, he's
And,
mad. He's not feeling good today.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. It like feels like sometimes epilepsy isn't that crazy enough that you're allowed to rant about it or something like that. Like sometimes it just doesn't feel like it's appropriate for me to be complaining about my epilepsy. Oh, I have to commute some extra time for work. Well, other people have to do that too, or like some people can't work, and it just sometimes feels shitty. Not shitty, but like I don't know. I wish I could complain a little bit more about it,
Yeah, I
even though
think
I should have that right. I just feel like I don't.
No, I
yeah.
feel you.
I don't feel like they push epilepsy awareness enough, and they don't feel like it's not a big deal in the disability world these days.
Yeah.
Epilepsy is the worst thing from big deal. They think, oh, we can just go on about our lives like right after, like, oh, you done? All right. No,
Yeah, it
it does
can.
not
It's
work
not.
like that.
The day's
No,
not any. The day is way shittier though. Like
yeah, you get 8
fucking
hours of the worst
reaction
headache of your
times.
life.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like I was still able to work after I had like a focal, but it's just like the whole like 7 hours. It's just like I'm so out of it.
Yeah.
We're pushing to get past the clock at this point.
No, I wake up and it's 3-4 days of not enjoying food because one, the taste isn't right and you bit your tongue probably a couple times, so just hurts
Oh
to
yeah.
swallow. And then not to mention like unless you want to go pay $100 at the doctor, you're gonna have a headache for the next 7 hours that is just gonna be mind numbing. Where I can't think half the time I'm after a seizure because I just have the worst headache.
Yeah.
Do you call the ambulance every time?
No, I know. My roommate called the ambulance the first time and kind of fucked me over with that because I had to pay for it after that.
Yeah.
And of course, I thanked him. I was like, "Thank you very much for calling the ambulance." But in my head, I'm like, "Fuck me." And then, of course, I got an ambulance for the second one because I crashed my car as required. And but I don't know. And then, like, my parents have offered to help me, but even then, it feels kind of shitty to take their money. Like, it feels like I should be dealing with this myself. Like, I'm a grown adult. But I don't know. It just
I
doesn't
mean,
feel like a disability, even though it is.
I
Yeah,
had like
I try not to let it hold me back, but then there's a lot of family who feel like you're disabled. You can't do much.
My family understands more than I do. Exactly.
Yeah, no, dude, don't turn it away. Like it's like
Yeah.
my wife's sister did a GoFundMe after I had the crash, and dude, without if that wasn't there, like I would have been fucked because I had my out of pocket max 2 years in a row, and if that wasn't there, I would have been fucked for the first year, and then the second year I had to like negotiate a lower price to like the hospital, or like with that like the Goshen or my like area's neurology center, like they're like a overall company or whatever. I had to negotiate a lower price, and Like I still ended up paying like $7,000 for the $8,500 max. So like,
Yeah.
still paid a shitload.
Yeah. I
It
mean,
didn't.
I literally,
It only made it slightly less worse, but like, yeah, no. If I didn't have that help the first year, like I would have been fucked. Like doing it
I,
by myself, I wasn't able to. I had to lower. I had to negotiate to like get a lower price. Like I can pay it all on this day if you do it.
I mean, I was a 24-year-old healthy kid. I played sports my entire life, like zero issues whatsoever. And so I got like marketplace insurance, $20 a month because I was a student for like a $6,000 deductible, just the worst insurance. And of course, I don't really know how insurance works. I don't know how medical payments work, but I had a seizure right before New Year's, paid $5,000 and then deductible reset and had to pay another full $6,000 by the end of the year out of the
Dude,
pocket of just
fuck
getting.
that.
And
Jesus.
yeah, my entire savings, I worked 3 jobs all through college to pay for it, everything. I had like $6,000 saved in my savings account and all of it gone, plus loans from my parents. And they're like, "Oh, you don't have to pay us back." But at the same time, it's not right. Like I owe them that money. I'm gonna pay it back to them.
Got you there. You live alone?
Yeah, I live alone.
Oh,
I
so
know
you
it's
pretty
probably
much
not.
got
Nice.
most of your independence
I
back.
know. Well, lived alone since I've been having seizures, basically. Like when I had my first seizure, my roommate, we were just moving out, so I didn't really have the opportunity to like make a change. I'd already signed the lease and everything. But yeah, so I've been living alone this entire time, and I know it's probably not the safest option, but I gave a key to one of my neighbors, and I told him, "Hey, if you don't hear from me, check up on me."
Um, I read something that says, "Have you accomplished anything since epilepsy that you're proud of?"
I graduated college, or I finished college, and
Okay.
I got my insurance license so I can sell insurance. I'm not a scumbag when it comes to insurance, though. I'm not working for like Allstate, just selling shit policies. I work for a good company. I'm proud of what I do there. But at the same time, I'm just happy to be living a normal life as much as a normal life as I can. And that's something I'm proud of.
Me too.
When's the last time you had a seizure?
Me?
Me? Or me?
Anybody?
It depends on what seizure you could, or like full on convulsions. I don't know what the name for those are. There's so many different names.
I
I
think it's
literally
Grand Mall.
Grand Mal. The last Grand Mal I had was end of middle of March after my brother's wedding, and I pretty much have like a seizure every day in terms of just
Um,
like an aura or like
Yeah.
something like that, just an aura, or I lose consciousness for a second or something, or just it's a dissociation. It's like you were saying it right. It's like you'll be watching something, you're watching something, but like you can't talk or like interact or do anything. You're just kind of like there in that state.
yeah, I've
Like,
had seizures like that to where I'm just kind of there, and
yeah,
some of them where I've had a tonic-clonic, and I'm just like looking wherever I'm looking at, I can see, but I can't react. I'm just
yeah.
going with everything. I'm gritting my teeth and
And it kind
watching
of feels like
everyone
everything's
panic
too
and listening.
serious. I don't know. Like, man, I know the exact feeling though, because I get those constantly, or I get those all the time. And I can kind of think back to like the first aura I got. I was just driving down the road and I like pulled down my beanie or something like that, and it just hit me. This like wave of deja vu. My ears started ringing, and I thought it was just a crazy panic attack. And then a month later, I had my first grand mal, and since then it's just been on and off.
Yeah, the first one I had was a grand mal, I believe. How long you said you've
Sorry,
been having them?
about a year and a half now, so not too long, but right when I turned 24, basically. I'm 25 now.
Yeah, I'm 35 now, and I'm going on 20 years soon. It's been 19 so
20
far.
years. Wow. Hold on, give me
Right.
one moment.
3 years.
No,
I'll be right back. I'm gonna go take a
sorry
piss.
to hear that, man. I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm glad
It's
to
all
see.
right.
I mean, you're here, you're
I'm here able to
happy,
tell my story.
talking with people, telling your story. Exactly. That's all that matters.
And
You
there's
said you
always
have
a bright
family.
side to it.
Do you still with your family and everything? You got,
Yeah,
or at least those close to you.
I
I
have
got my
zero
mom.
independence.
You what?
Zero.
Zero independence. No, I'm.
Zero.
That's
Negative
something I'm
zero.
worried will happen. But at the same time, I am lonely constantly. It's something I kind of wish would happen because then I would have someone there.
Yeah, support system is really good. That's a
Yeah,
big thing, the support system. Um, some people they do make really bad choices when they don't have a support system. Um,
100%.
sometimes I'm in a situation where I feel like I don't have a support system, and yeah, it's always good to have one though, or at least one person to call.
Hmm.
Someone who's
I
just gonna listen.
I call my dad almost every day, and he's someone who'll just listen to me. I'll rant about whatever I want, and he'll just listen. But I'll talk to him about something new health wise I'm trying to do for myself, and he's not going to make me feel silly for trying it, or he's not going to make me feel embarrassed for bringing it up or anything. He's going to support me the entire time and hope that everything I'm doing is just helping myself. The biggest thing is I just need to cut every vice out of my system. Like I still put a Zyn in every now and then because I was addicted to nicotine prior to everything, but it's hard.
Do you ever cry afterwards or have anything like that?
Cry?
Cry.
Oh, I- I've cried more in this last year and a half than I've ever cried in my entire life. Like
No.
it's been the most emotional year and a half of my life. Like I thought I had brain cancer for the first time. Like I was like, I'm a 24-year-old healthy kid. The only answer is brain cancer, like or brain
Yep.
tumor or something. So that was terrifying until they did the MRI, and then they're like, oh yeah, you have something in your brain. You have a cyst there. And they told me it's a ranky left cyst that it's not the cause for the seizures. It's in 15% of people, or like it doesn't go away. But it's just the uncertainty. Like I don't know. I didn't have enough money to go to the doctor to get medicine after a couple grand malls, so I just have to endure the headache for 7 hours. I'll take
Oh
ibuprofen and
man.
hope it helps, but like, I didn't even have $100 in my bank account after my accident and stuff to go to the hospital to get help.
Yeah, I try to just drink a lot of water and
Mm-hmm. Try to
yeah,
fall asleep again or something. Like try to
drink a
sleep it
lot of
off.
water, maybe smoke a little bit. Yeah.
Without weed, I don't know where I would be right now, honestly. Like weed is seriously the thing that helps me out completely.
Yeah, it
Dude,
helps with my appetite and it helps me sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And
dude, the last time my wife and I did like cookies, we started we started watching The Wicker Man, and we
Mm.
had to turn it off because I'm like, dude, no, this is way too fucking realistic. I can't watch this anymore.
The Wicker Man. Wait, I've heard
Like
of
the
that. I just
original
can't.
one.
Yeah, yeah. It's that old. Well, I gotta look up a picture of it because it's like in my
Dude,
head, but I don't.
it was so uncomfortable to watch. I'm like, I can't. I gotta fucking turn this off. Everything was going great until then.
Yeah, yeah.
you ever you ever
Chris,
got arrested while having a seizure? Like woke up in cuffs?
nope.
Ever
I
broke the law on accident?
not that I
Well,
know
not on
of.
accident, but
Dude, that's what scares me. It's like cops don't know how to de-escalate when shit like that happens. I'm like, what if something happens and I get like fucking um like I just get fucking plowed by the guy? Because what was it? I can't remember the guy's name. He said like the cop was like saying he was on drugs, and the
He
EMT
was.
was like, "No,
Mm-hmm.
you fucking idiot! He had a seizure."
Mm-hmm. I mean, I this was the worst situation I've had where it just was someone who I had to take my licensing exam. Really strict about stuff there. So you're supposed to drive over, but you had to bring your birth certificate and some others like legal documents. So I brought my briefcase. I show up with my coat on, briefcase, keys, phone, everything, because I bust there. And the guy just looks at me and goes, "Why'd you bring all that? I don't even know why you brought any of that." And I'd like look this guy in the eye and just tell him like, "Hey, I have epilepsy. I had to bus here." And he just didn't give a shit. He had no care in the world. He's like, "Well, you can't have that in here. If it doesn't fit in the locker, you're not gonna be able to take the exam." I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "You have to go put it out in your car." And I had to tell him again, like, "Dude, I bust here. I have epilepsy. I cannot drive. What can I do?" And I had to bend my briefcase and shove it into the locker. And man, it just, I
Wait,
don't
what
know,
was this?
for a licensing exam, like for my
Oh,
insurance, like
oh,
the guy just
insurance
refused to
license.
like be okay with, or like, I don't know, he refused to understand that I couldn't drive. And it was just so disrespectful to me. He just looked at me straight in the face and, "I don't know why you brought that. You're not gonna be able to take the exam."
Yeah,
It's like, well,
I think
dude,
the
what?
guy had sand in his vagina. I think that man just had sand in his vagina.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that was
Someone's
a
missing his Cheerios that morning. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I've never had that happen. I've had like
Yeah,
people
I just
really,
spent 2 hours busing up there. Like, that, and he's about to tell me I had to go home. I wasn't gonna be able to take the
yeah.
exam.
I was like, I'd be like, dude, I don't fucking tell this to a prospective like a guy we're trying to hire. We look like fucking morons, dude, saying this to somebody.
And luckily, I will say, I am lucky. My briefcase is like a bendable one, so I
Yeah.
was able to bend it and fit in there. If I had like an actual briefcase, I would have been actually fucked.
Oh,
yeah. Next to
I mean, if someone had that, I'd be like, damn, this kid is prepared. Yeah.
Right?
It's
I
like,
thought he
yeah,
was
it's
gonna.
like you're showing up prepared. You're aware of like you have to do this go through these extra steps to just do it. I'm like, hey, this kid's doing at least getting his shit done. What are you guys doing? Nothing.
Exactly. Exactly. Like I took every precaution I needed to ensure I'd have all the documents there without losing them, and still wasn't good enough. I don't know.
Yeah.
what
It's
would you
just
do?
saying.
What would you do if you got a promotion but you needed to work night shifts but you can't because the change in schedules and you know how that goes. Epilepsy. I was reading something where someone said they're up for promotion, but it's a night job. They're changing their shifts from day to night, but it might conflict with their epilepsy.
I mean, if I could do it, but like I would have to actually stick to that cycle. Like I would be sleeping during the day. Because a lot of nurses like do night shifts, but they'll still like sometimes they'll be awake during the day to go do stuff, but it's like no, I'm working my sleep schedule around this. Like I'll hang out with
Yeah.
you in the wee hours of the morning. But
I've noticed changes, and I had a grand mal after I like the latest I've stayed up since I had my first seizure is like 3 o'clock, and I had a grand mal when that happened, and since then it's been like 12 o'clock the latest I stay up. I don't
I've
risk
stayed
my
up for a
sleep.
long time. I've stayed up for like till 5 a.m. and stuff like that. Lose
Yeah.
track of
yeah,
time, doing a lot of stuff, video games, all kinds of stuff, and watching
instead of
movies. And I'd be like, I gotta finish watching this movie.
yeah.
Um, is it hard to remember like movies?
Um no, not not
My thing
really.
is my thing is remembering shows. It's like I have to binge watch it because if I wait till next week, I might have to watch the last episode over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like if a new season comes out, I got to go back and remember what happened last season. So I got to go back and go to that because last season ended 8 months ago or something like that.
I
That's the
have
thing
to
I'm
like space it out sometimes because I like binge watched a show recently and I'm like, okay, I feel like I didn't retain a lot of that, but a lot of it blended together as an anime.
That's something I'm
Yeah.
worried about is like my memory. Like that's something I haven't dealt with yet really is memory issues much. A little bit with Keppra when I was taking it in my first couple. I can't remember anything from my first few seizures or what happened those days. But at the same time, like that's just something I'm really afraid of. If I do keep having seizures, I just I
I
don't
don't
want
think
to.
it's, to be honest, I've talked to a lot of people and we don't think it's the seizures. I think it's the pills.
Okay.
That's me personally, and a few other people I've talked to said they think it's
Yeah.
the pills.
No, I've read that as well. Like the Keppra
Yeah.
people had said it's caused memory issues for them specifically.
Yeah, but
I
while you do have good memory, someone told me about taking B12. He said
Fish
his is
oils
genetic, but B12
every
helps
day.
him.
I take fish oil every day.
Okay, yeah, I need to start with the oils and the
Fish oil and
B12.
magnesium glycinate.
Okay, good, good.
Magnesium glycinate's a good brain. It's something that's found in stuff, but it helps with like relaxation and de-stressing in the brain, which is nice.
Okay. Yeah,
That's just what I've heard. Like my vitality doctor told me she sent me over stuff. And then ashwagandha. I started taking ashwagandha, but I haven't really noticed much of a difference with that.
yeah, it's crazy how you said they Narcaned you. That's like the
Yeah.
most unaware thing that police can do. Like they know nothing about epilepsy and they think you're just overdosing and
Well, they saw my bong sitting there probably and were like, oh yeah, he's probably doing some meth or I don't know, like heroin and Narcan me. And apparently I came back and started fighting them. Like I started attacking the EMTs and then they gave me ketamine. I just remember waking up in like the deepest K-hole I've ever been. Like I've taken ketamine before as a high schooler, but man, thought I was in limbo sitting in that hallway. Like I had tubes coming out of me. I thought I'd been shot. Like I literally thought I'd been shot and was like on death's door. But I don't know. It took like 10 minutes. I started calling out to a nurse and someone came over and told me I had a seizure. I just remember asking them how, just over and over. I just couldn't comprehend that I had a seizure. And I
Yeah.
still don't really comprehend how I had a seizure.
Um,
yeah.
this just for like to try and make some levity. So for the ketamine, do you guys watch South Park at all?
Yeah.
There was like,
No, sorry, really quick. The ketamine was
oh
the best part about the experience. I will say, go ahead.
yeah. I had like, well, there was just the one episode where the doctor was like, "Nurse, get 100 milligrams of ketamine stat and get something for the patient."
I'm a big proponent of ketamine, honestly. It's an antidepressant. It help me at least.
Every
Granted, if
time I
someone
get
had
it, when I get in
good
the ambulance, the first thing I ask for is Ativan.
Ativan, all right.
Yeah.
It takes away the pain, the headache, everything instantly. Then you're like,
See,
oh, okay, I like this. I'm gonna
I've
go to
never been
sleep. Wait till we
awake
get there.
in the ambulance. I've I've always just woken up in the hospital,
Yeah,
already got the ketamine in me.
I hate waking up like before the ambulance. I mean, hate waking up from a seizure either way, but waking up at the hospital, you missed a lot.
Yeah. I'm like, what day is it?
But most of mine, when I come out of it, they're asking me, do I know where I am? Do I know who he and she is? Do I know what day it is? And sometimes they're like, you want to walk or you want to get on the stretcher? Sometimes like, I want to walk. Sometimes I'm like, no, just let me get on that stretcher. Bring that over here.
Turn on the prices right there and just let me lay here.
Yeah.
There's nothing I want to do more than just watch TV after I have a seizure and try to fall asleep. I can't. I
Yeah.
can't.
Right. It's like sometimes when I try to fall asleep after a seizure, I can't. And
Because I'm afraid I'm gonna have another or something. That's what happens to me. I feel like I'm just gonna double up.
mind racing.
Yeah. What
Um,
caused this one? Oh no. Like I told you guys, like my taste was been messed up since one of my last grand malls. Like rich foods, meaty foods and stuff. I had a hot dog and it tastes okay in the beginning, but as it gets to the back of my throat and I swallow it, it just turns to like a gross fibrous flavor that is just unenjoyable and it takes over the entire meal.
Yeah.
And it's just been like that, trying to figure out.
I haven't had the issue with taste, thankfully, and sorry you had that, because that's gotta be rough. My brother-in-law had that with like COVID.
Yeah,
He said
that's the
everything
first thing people ask. It's
tasted
COVID?
well, he said everything tasted like rancid for like a solid, like,
Oh,
I think like 6 months or like a year. He like lost weight. He like didn't want to eat food. He was tired all the time. So
yeah.
yeah, um, yeah. So yeah, the rancid or the foul taste, because that stuff's
It just makes foods unenjoyable. I used to love Sonic, used to love food just in general, and now my first thought is that even going to taste good at all, or should I just have some more oatmeal? Because oatmeal is taste my oatmeal.
yeah, like I took my mom out for her birthday and I started like eating my food and then I started getting really bad hot flashes and clammy feeling. And then I was like, we're not gonna leave. I was just like, I'm not feeling good, but go ahead, eat your food. I'm gonna take mine home. And I picked it because I really wanted it. But after that, I was just like, oh no, I'm not feeling good right now. Sucks that I'm feeling this way after I'm sitting here looking at this, and now I'm gonna have to reheat it and all kinds of
Oh,
stuff.
I feel that. I know exactly what you're talking about. Those like the auras I would get is like a hot flash. You're sitting there, all of a sudden you start like sweating, your heart gets crazy, you're like on edge
It's
for
like
a
sometimes I can
second.
hear my heartbeat.
Yeah, you like you can hear your blood coursing through your body and your ears start ringing a little bit. Or maybe just one ear, maybe it's just the right ear or something that starts ringing.
Yeah, I
mhm.
get that the one ear,
Yeah.
that one ear ringing, throat hurting.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, one of the best things about seizures is it stopped me from vaping. Like I stopped vaping once I started having seizures, and I will never go back to vaping.
That's good.
Yeah.
Vaping is
Well, I mean, I looked it up. The number one cause for seizures is nicotine, like even higher than photosensitivity.
oh really?
Oh,
Yeah, it's and
Damn.
nicotine and alcohol are the two highest causes for seizures.
I didn't realize nicotine was. I know alcohol is like,
Yeah.
I
yeah,
found
I
that
know about
out
alcohol.
the hard way. That it is.
I mean, my first seizure I had was like the day after my mom's wedding, where we all drank a bit. Probably had something to
Yeah.
do with it.
Um, I started having them after going out, and then I stopped for like over a year, and then they just started popping up out of the blue.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
It's all right.
I mean, that was kind of the same for me. Like I drank a little bit, I vaped a ton, so I was like, maybe it's a nicotine overdose and like mixed with the alcohol. And so I stopped vaping for like 8 months, but they just never went away, and they honestly were getting worse and worse. I was like, all right, it's gotta be something else.
Yeah, vaping is. I I hate the vaping industry, because it's like now marketed as like, oh, it's a healthier, and like, no, it's not. It's still nicotine. It's still not. It's still bad for you.
Yeah, I mean,
And now, for if anything, it's more addict. Like
nicotine's not
people.
terrible for your brain. Like nicotine's a nootropic, which like in small doses there are beneficial side of like or things with nicotine, but every way you
Yeah,
ingest it into your system, through your lungs, through your bloodstream, everything, it damages your body. If you could inject it straight into your brain, it would be a relatively safe thing. Like great drug, but you get in your
Yeah.
blood system and it increases your cortisol levels, your stress levels, your blood pressure, and then that ultimately causes seizures and shit.
Yeah. I mean, I'll smoke a cigar for special occasions every now and
I'm
then, but
afraid to.
I hate just like how vaping has become so popular. I could go off on that for a while because it's just like, oh wow, I'm smoking this like new flavor thing, but I'm like, dude, you realize this is just tobacco getting you addicted
Big
to
tobacco
like
getting,
like
yeah.
I mean, I like I used to smoke cigarettes like a lot in college. Like, dude, I would fucking
Oh
plow
yeah.
through, but like vaping is still just a replacement for cigarettes. And
Yeah.
it's like I hate that it's become such like a big
Yeah, it's like they're catching the people who wouldn't be smoking cigarettes with the vaping. That's all it
yeah,
is.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
Yeah. Like, oh my God, I'm so much cooler than people smoking. Yeah, no, I mean, I say that as someone who was like that. You know, I vaped for the longest time. I was like, oh, it's so much safer
Yeah, no,
than,
dude, I smoked
and it is
cigarettes all the
safer than
time.
smoking cigarettes for sure. Like, you're not, there hasn't been linked to like lung cancer and stuff like that yet, really. But at the same time, it's just not healthy. Anything you're putting in your body that's not oxygen isn't healthy.
Yeah,
My doctor, he never says stop smoking, but he always asks me would I like to stop smoking and do I need help and do I need help finding a program? He never says stop smoking. He's like, do you need help to stop smoking?
My
yeah,
my doctor says, hey, if like towards weed, he says if you think it's helping you, I'm not going to tell you to stop doing it. He's like, I'm not going to say necessarily it's helping, but he said if you think it's helping and it's not hurting, I'm not going to tell you to stop.
Right.
I get too paranoid. I can't do it anymore.
I've been smoking for the last 10 years of my life every single day, and again, I feel like that's half the reason I wasn't having seizures prior.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was smoking for a very long time. 35, a long time.
35. Oh yeah. I'm
High
not even
school,
kidding. I
for that.
lost my pen on my way
I
home.
wish I had the same effect as everyone else does. It's just I get paranoid with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wish I had that. I wish it worked for me. It doesn't though.
I mean, yeah, I get a little anxious with it, but it's more the anxiety of like people not liking the fact that I smoke or something. People thinking it's gross or getting in trouble for it. Because I've been smoking since I was like 15, so
Yeah, I
all I can
remember
do is
the first time I like. Well, not the first time I smoked because it took a few times for things to click, but like first time it actually worked. My buddy and I were like on the way to go fucking get gyros, and he had like a um God, I can't remember the name of the band. It was like some jam band that was playing, and I was just like looking up at the fucking like clouds. I'm like, dude, this is awesome. Then we went to go get gyros, and I was just sitting there. I'm like, dude, they're gonna realize we're high. I was just thinking that in my head the entire fucking time, and then I just kept eating. I was like, they're gonna fucking realize we're high, man. And then I
I mean,
just kept going with what I was doing.
honestly, they were probably high back there as well. If they were working in a Euro shop and what? Um,
You ever had a blackout seizure and woke up somewhere you weren't supposed to be, I guess?
blackout seizure woke up.
I woke up somewhere, I guess, well, not I guess. I was at a rehab down the street from my house, and I was in there telling them that this is my house and get out. I was like, this is my house. Get the F out of here right now. Luckily, not luckily, but I guess one person there, he had seen the ambulance so many times come to my house that he knew who I was. He's like, oh, that's a kid from down the street. Went and got my family. Yeah, because that could have been very bad. They had
Yeah.
the right to shoot
Yeah.
me. They had the right of way.
Yeah, wow. Wow. No, I mean, I feel like other than the one I had at school, I haven't really woken up somewhere else other than either in the hospital or on the floor of my room or something. Um, I don't know. I guess it is something I never thought about, like the fact that, yeah, I could theoretically just um wander somewhere I shouldn't be, wander into someone's house or something at any point.
Been there.
Yeah.
Oh my
People's
God.
houses. Bad situation. Like I
Opened up a
said,
new
you
little
get
fear
killed
for
like
me
that.
there.
I
No,
went
I'm
in
just kidding.
someone's house, or there was this one time I was like, I blacked out January 15th. Um, and I was playing video games, and some friends told me that I was crying for a while. And then they said I disappeared. But they said when I was crying, I was still playing and I was still just going along. They were just like, we just muted you. And I was like, okay. They were like, you're still playing. They was like, then you stopped moving. So we unmuted you, but I was gone. And when I came to, I stayed on the fourth floor. When I came to, I was on the second floor with no shoes on. And this guy that had passed me, he looked familiar, I guess, because I'd seen him before, but I didn't know him. I got up, he walked past, I followed him. He kind of just kept looking back like, you know, what's going on? Then he got to his door, he put the keys in the door, and I stopped next to him. He opened the door, I walked in. Another situation where I could have got really hurt. And I'm glad that I did not. And I told him, I know somebody here. I went in his living room, I sat down because I wasn't feeling good. I did not know what was going on, but I wasn't feeling good. And
Dang, yeah.
he took it, and then I left, and I came back the next day and apologized. But that was a really bad situation. Like I said, it could have been worse. But I knew something was wrong when I was in his house, and I figured out I had no shoes on. It was like, what's going on? Why don't I have shoes on? Yeah.
I I once had a seizure, like, so I haven't really woken up somewhere or gone somewhere I shouldn't be, but one of my seizures, oh, it was way too rainy, right? I'm so sorry. Let me go back and quickly. Um, I had a seizure while on the phone with a recruiter from the military. I was trying to join the Marines, and one of the I was just on a phone call with him. All of a sudden, I wake up on the floor of my room. I have a text from him saying, "Hey, we got disconnected. Give me a call back when you have a chance." And called him back. And he told me, he's like, "Yeah, it was the weirdest thing. Like you just stopped answering my questions, but I could hear you moving around in the background." I was like, "Oh yeah, I was having a seizure, man. I'm sorry." And he's like, "Oh no, no, you're totally fine, but." I mean, I'm just going to tell you now, they're not going to be taking you if you got epilepsy or you're having seizures. I was like, yeah, I was just going to try to kind of keep it on the DL until it came out, but that's understandable. But it just stinks. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know. It's just funny that I had one on the phone
It's
with him
like,
and you could
that's
hear
all good,
me.
man. I'm gonna be totally honest. So you seem pretty chill. They're probably not going to do it.
Yeah, that was pretty
Although
much what
I
he
love you,
said.
man. You seem cool. I don't know if they're gonna go for it,
Yeah.
dude.
You ever
That
had someone tell you that they're traumatized from you having a lot of seizures in front of them?
Luckily, I really haven't had a seizure in front of someone I know, and I would have been traumatizing. I was dropping my friends off at the airport when I crashed my car on my way home after dropping them off. I had literally just dropped them off and I was on my way home and had my seizure.
dude,
My
I think about that still. Hello.
hi.
Like
Hi.
if I had someone in the car with me or took someone with me in the crash, I that's
Oh, I
something
would
that like
never.
I don't know if
Yeah,
I would have been able to live with.
yeah, it's the reason I'll never drive again. I'll
Yeah.
never.
Were you diagnosed after your first seizure?
After my second.
Me too. After my Actually, it was after my third I was diagnosed.
My second was my car crash, and they're like, well, there you go, epilepsy. And
Yeah.
$7,000 later, still no answers. They're like, oh, it's probably just stress. Talk to a therapist.
I
So
was
there's
having seizures for most of my life, and it was just focal, so just auras and petite malls where I'd have consciousness but not be aware. And they diagnosed me saying, oh, it looks like epilepsy at 8. But I ran through a couple of neurologists because I moved around, and one of them pulled me off my medication completely, said I had migraines. And I ended up having a
What?
grand mal in front of my entire math class in high school.
Jesus,
And
I'm so
then
sorry.
and then boom, finally I found a neurologist who pushed for more tests, and I got diagnosed at 19, 20.
Yeah, I had a seizure in class. I guess that was my first one at school. I had one at 5 when I got in my car accident, and then I didn't have one until I was 16, and I was in what was it, web design class. And the first one they thought nothing of it, and then the second one after that I was diagnosed, and they said I would have to drop web design. And there's actually someone who got in touch with me, and he was like, last time I seen you, man, you were cramped up under a desk having a seizure, and I was crying. It's like, wow, I didn't even know that. I didn't know that situation even happened. I didn't see you after that. He was like, yeah, we didn't have any classes together after that. And yeah, that sucks. It sucks
Well,
just seeing other people, how they feel like they might be a little traumatized afterwards. Some of them I feel for, and some I don't know.
My wife saw me have one, and that was really hard for her. And it, yeah, it's, I don't
I
know.
understand.
It's like I definitely feel for them, and like it's got to be
Yeah.
hard being on the other side. But um, I don't know that I'm like considering driving again, like sparingly. But when I was like really, I'm still like up in the air, and when I kind of felt like I was not being like pressured into it, but they were like, well, if you have one for like, if you haven't had one for so long, maybe you could. And I'm like, yeah, but like you were there
California?
to help with the fallout, but like having that happen to your body, and like having that shit to happen to your body, it's like, you know, after a crash, it's like you don't really deal with the aftermath of that. Is like, though you're there to like help pick up the pieces, like it wasn't your body that had to go through it. Like that
Yeah.
was fucking.
I don't like that a lot of people don't take seizures serious and the after effects in consideration.
No,
They just think,
they did, but like it's just they.
well, there's some people who just feel like, oh, the seizure's over. We can just walk away. You go about your life type stuff. And some of those times, I feel like some people, it's me sometimes, need someone to be around afterward. It's a little more comfortable.
I get that way as well, where I'm like not lonely, but I just don't want to be alone. Like I just need someone there with me. I need to be talking to someone.
Right.
Since I got diagnosed, I have not slept alone.
How
Like
long ago did you get diagnosed?
I had my first seizure at 8,
Oh,
and I'm 24 now. up until I
But you
moved.
said you didn't get diagnosed until you're like 20, right? Like you had your
They,
first at
yeah,
8 and then
yeah, I had my first seizure at 8. They suspected something, but never caught anything on the EEG until I was
mm-hmm.
19.
Mm.
And that's when it was really solidified.
What are you
And
taking?
what?
What are you taking?
I am on 350 twice a day lamotrigine, 100 once a day Excopri, 150 twice a day Vimpat, and 5 milliliters twice a day Epidiolex, which is a cannabis-based medication.
Ooh.
Yes. I'm on 250 a day Lamictal or lamotrigine
Mm-hmm.
twice daily.
Yeah,
I heard someone say that basically we're living our lives from dose to dose, 12 hours to 12 hours. And I was like, that's a good way to put it.
mm-hmm.
If we were in a
I
fucking
just
zombie
had
apocalypse. Sorry, go ahead.
I just had a right anterior temporal lobectomy for my seizures because they were drug resistant. I was on 4 medications and still having focals.
Yeah.
And so they opened up my head and cut out a quarter of my brain.
Whoa.
How'd that go? Better?
It went really well. It just happened April 8th.
Oh, okay.
And I was having about 70 seizures a month before they found the right cocktail, and I'd still have breakthrough focals.
Did you say 7 or 70?
70.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
so they cut out a quarter of my brain, and it was already dead. It was gray, peeling away from healthy tissue, full of scar tissue. And so it was my right side, and my hippocampus and amygdala were not working on the right side. So my left side took over completely.
Nice. Holy fuck. I think you win. I think you win anything. Jeez, wow, fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
When was your last seizure?
My last seizure was a couple months ago, and I just had a big win.
Congrats.
And because my seizures come from sleep deprivation and stress, I recently had about 2 hours of sleep because I woke up feeling sick and couldn't get back to sleep, and a very stressful day in college. And this is after the surgery. No breakthrough aura.
Nice.
Nothing. And that was a big win for me because I would have had a breakthrough.
Are your focals bad?
It was just the rising feeling, the rising sensation, the deja vu, and then getting tired.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Thank you very much, guys. I'm gonna go. It's been an absolute pleasure. But I gotta head out. Thank you very much for talking though, and thank you for inviting me on.
Yeah. On Friday, I go from 2 p.m. Eastern to whenever.
Sounds good. I'll join up if I'm available. It's good talking though. Take care.
Right.
Nice meeting you. I'm also gonna head out. I'm happy I got to make it for a couple of minutes, but I'll be here on Friday.
Okay.
It was nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too.
Yeah, I'm gonna head to sleep because I gotta go. I got an early day at college tomorrow.
All right. Get your sleep. You don't want to have a seizure. And I hope you guys don't have a seizure until I see you next.
Yeah. Bye, guys.